Good morning. It's not raining. What are we going to do about that? All right. Here's the situation. It did not rain overnight. We've got a few hours that we can put on this machine yet, the tractor. So we're gonna go and do it. We're gonna go to one of the, we're gonna go to where we had our double crop beans. That's where we're going. That's one of the fields that's going to corn next year that's got to get ripped up. Plan was to take the 8RX and the sunflower down there. I had tried to get Dad to bring that down too, and we can run them both because I don't think we'll get it done with this in the hours that I'm willing to put on it. But he's busy. He was expecting to be raining today, but today's kind of the last warm day, and he wants to power wash the sprayer and get some stuff cleaned up and winterized before it gets cold out here. So I don't blame him. That's a good thing to get done. But I've got this tractor. I'm going to go run it for a while, and I don't want to do a cornfield that we get half done and then we have it half disced, half ripped. Deal with that in the spring. I would much rather go do a bean field that we've got to get the whole thing done, whether we do it with this tractor or we do it with our tractor when we get it back and this ripper, or we do it with that. It doesn't really matter. I thought it would be cool to have both RXs in the same field ripping at the same time, but that's okay. All right, let's go. So we've got an 86-acre field here. This is where we had double crop soybeans that we harvested there a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, whatever it was, which means that we had wheat planted here. We harvested that in July, planted beans, and then we harvested those beans. I had our fertilizer retailer spread some fertilizer on here based on our soil tests and what our consultant recommended. So that has been done, and now we need to get it ready to plant corn in the spring. And for us, that means doing our heavy primary tillage with our 2730 ripper. And so we're gonna pull this through here. It's gonna mix that fertilizer in and bury it so that it's not just setting on the surface. It's gonna reduce compaction and eliminate some of the tight soils that we get from running heavy equipment over stuff. And just set us up for the best possible corn year we can have next year. And this is, well, not our best field because it's got some ridges, just has a little more elevation change than a lot of our stuff. It's not a bad farm. It's well tiled. We've owned it for a long time now, and it's fairly productive. So let's have some good corn here next year, shall we? There are a few light rain showers in the region, or some heavier stuff a little ways away, so hopefully we can work for a while and not get rained out. I have had just a little bit of light misty stuff on the windshield on the way over here and right now, but it's not nearly enough to stop us from running. If we get rained out, we get rained out. That's just the way it's going to be. So we're gonna run here this morning and see how far we get, and then shut her down with this tractor. You know, you think after a while, you're like, all right, we've been running this. The coolness is wearing off. I can assure you the coolness is not wearing off. This tractor is so awesome. Like, oh, it's so awesome. All right. Oh man, this is awesome. Let's talk about this tractor a little bit. I briefly went through some of this stuff yesterday. You can check that out, but we'll go a little more in depth in it today. Do a little compare and contrast with our 9510R, which obviously they're very different machines, but they are in the same class and family of tractors. So this tractor that we're sitting in right now, this is a 2022 model John Deere 9RX 640. This is currently the largest production tractor that John Deere has ever made at 640 horsepower. It's just an insane number to me, and rumor has it those numbers are going up quite a bit. Anyway, it does not have a John Deere engine in it, believe it or not. This tractor and the 590 family of 9 series tractors use a 15-liter Cummins engine. So this has the Cummins, I think it's 14.9. They call it a 15-liter in here, and yeah, it makes 640 horsepower. The RX signifies that it is a 4-track articulated machine, or four individual tracks instead of 2 tracks, one on each side like the RTs are. Otherwise sometimes referred to as a quad track, although that's more of the red branding than the green branding. So these are 36-inch wide tracks. I would have to look up the specs as far as length and ground footprint and pressure, all of that kind of stuff. I honestly couldn't even tell you what this tractor weighs, but I would guess we're pushing 60,000 pounds. It is very heavy. While tracks are awesome because they provide a very large footprint, spread the weight out, and help reduce compaction, you have to have enough weight on them in order to get that power to the ground. Otherwise, the tracks will just sit there and spin on top of the ground and not bite in. And so that's why these tractors have to be heavy. Now, your PSI, the pounds per square inch, is still very low on a 9RX relative to a 9R, even a 9RT, I would believe. And I have a document that kind of shows the differences in those tractors, so we can look at that when we get back to the farm, maybe. But yeah, it is a very, very nice tractor. The cab is identical, basically, to the 8RX cab. This is kind of the new John Deere style cabs. I believe it's the same type of cab that is on the X9 combines. We've got the monitor up here. This is the premium cab. It's got the leather seat. It's got the massage and all the stuff under here. We've got the refrigerator and everything else. It does not, this tractor does not have the ultimate visibility package. That's what it is. It's ultimate cab, ultimate comfort package, but it does not have the ultimate visibility, therefore is not a John Deere Signature Edition. And I believe the only real difference between the ultimate and the premium in the visibility is the cameras that I'd never use on the 8RX anyway, so not that big of a deal. How'd that toolbox lid get open? Huh. Must have bounced on something. No big deal. I don't think there's anything in there other than some cylinder stops. Yeah, so they have redesigned some stuff on the new 9Rs. Even the older series from ours has been redesigned from the way our 510R is. The fuel tank is no longer underneath the cab, kind of all across both sides and around the back. It is now centered over the rear axle, and so this big black plastic thing there, that is our fuel tank, and I don't know how big it is, but I would guess it's over 300-gallon fuel tank there. The hydraulic oil reservoir, which used to be right underneath this panel on our 9R, is now down lower, kind of below the cab and stuff where the fuel tank used to be, which is a nice thing because this fender inside here on our 9R gets so hot. If you have a drink in here, a cup of water, it will be like 100-degree plus water after a day of working. You can't keep anything in that cup holder except for maybe coffee. We do have LED lights all the way around. You saw those in yesterday's video as we were working in the dark, and that was pretty impressive, the lighting on here. I will say the rear visibility is not as good. Visibility to the drawbar on this tractor because of that fuel tank. You can't see it great. You can see it enough, but not great like on our 9R. Let's see. We obviously have the Gen 4 display in here versus the old GS3 command center, 7-inch command center on our 9R. This is really nice. I like this display. We've got our true set tillage running here for our ripper. You got the tractor functions and stuff. You can see how much power we're using. And in places this is pulling hard, in places it is not. So we're running, I've got it set at 10.5 inches deep on the ripper right now. Right here we can pull a little bit deeper, but we're on a little bit of a sandy ridge. When we get down in some of these draws and dips, it really drags it down and makes it pull a little harder. So yeah. This was not a new tractor on the lot. This is a used one that somebody traded in. It's got a year's use on it, or 460 hours. So that's why they were more comfortable giving me a demo. I don't think you'd do that if you got a tractor with 5 hours on the lot. But yeah, I am very, very appreciative to our dealer. Greenmark Equipment, if you are in their area or close to it and you are looking for somebody to do some business with, I highly recommend them. They have been awesome to me, not just with this tractor, but with everything that we've done. Their service guys, at least out of our location, are great. They do a good job. They always try and take care of us as quickly as we need to be. And as far as buying new equipment and stuff, they've always treated us very, very fair, I feel like. And so, yeah, if you're in their area, have confidence doing business with them, in my opinion. If you're on the fringes and you're looking for a dealer, I recommend them. And I will say, I will throw this out there. I know a lot of people don't like the consolidation happening with John Deere dealers. If you're not aware, John Deere dealers consolidating all the time and getting bigger and bigger with more locations for one dealership, instead of each store being kind of independent and run and operate as its own dealership. Like for example, Greenmark, our dealership, I'm not sure exactly how many stores they have, but 15, 18, something like that. They have a lot of locations, mostly Southwest Michigan, Northern Indiana. And I get that reduces some competition, isn't necessarily always a good thing. Has not been an issue since Greenmark bought the single store location that we were dealing with. I have not had any negative changes from that. Now, I will say that we are in a fairly fortunate position, at least for the time being, where if you go one direction to the north and west, we have Greenmark. If we go to the south, we have another dealership change that has just merged with the one in Indiana that's even bigger now. And we've done some business with them, and they've been fine. Not as competitive on new equipment as what Greenmark has been, but they have been fine to deal with from parts and everything else. They're a good location, a good chain of stores. You go east of us, we have another dealership closer to our Berkey farm down there that has, again, gone from a single location dealership to a smaller one that had 6 or 7 locations to one that's probably the biggest Deere dealer in the country at this point, and a publicly traded dealer network. I haven't done a lot of business dealings with them. Let's just put it that way for right now. If you go to the Northeast, we have yet another dealership network that we can do it. My point in all of this is I have choices. I have options. I am not in the middle of a territory of a single dealership that has multiple locations in every direction. I can go where I want to. We choose to work with Greenmark because they have treated us very well. We are cruising right across this field. I didn't put any of our fields or any of that setup data into the display here, so it doesn't know where we're at. It doesn't even know that we're in a different field from what we did yesterday and stuff, so it's just keeping track of everything together. And we've done 61 acres total with this, and I believe we had like 46, 47 done in the other one, so well, it looks like more than 13 acres here. I don't know, whatever. Like I said, we're kind of going more based on hours than acres here, trying to put how many hours we want on this machine and not how many acres they give us. So one thing I will point out, obviously this tractor is much bigger than our 510R, right? 510 engine horsepower versus this one at 640. So we've got another 130 horsepower, which is a lot, especially on a percentage basis. You're what, 20% more almost? That's a lot. Now, the tracks on these 8RX, they are kind of a horsepower parasite. They take a lot more power to turn than tires do. And so if there was a 9510 RX, there is not, but if there was, and a 9510R wheeled version, the wheeled version would feel like it has more power. Now, getting that power to the ground and having good traction and everything, that's a whole nother story. But on equal footing where they're not slipping one more than the other or anything, it's gonna feel like the wheeled version can pull more than the RX version because it takes so much power to turn the tracks and to get this tractor to roll. So I've always heard him say you want to kind of size it up one size from what you're used to with wheels. So if we were to go to an RX to be comparable in pulling power, instead of a 9510R or a 520 RX, is I think the current, you would have to go to a 570. At least it used to be a 570. Maybe it's a 590 now. I'm not honestly sure what the current numbers even are. So there is that. So really this would be like one size bigger than what we're kind of used to from a power and pulling standpoint. But it does pull this ripper much better than our 510R does. So if we went with a bigger tractor like this, there's kind of two different ways you can look at it. You could pull deeper with a 9-shank ripper that we have. You're not any wider, but you're pulling deeper. We're going a little bit faster. Or you could go a size bigger. You could go to an 11 shank ripper and probably still pull it a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit faster, but probably more like what we're used to. Deere does make a 13 shank 2730 ripper that would be 4 shanks bigger than this. I'm not convinced this tractor would pull it in our soils. At least not well. I mean, you would be doing what we're doing now with our 510 on this ripper. You'd be going 8 inches deep and you'd be doing it at 5 miles an hour, maybe. So, given this experience with this higher horsepower tractor, yeah, we could use a little more power to pull this ripper. It's plenty for the tractor that we've got. Now it's working fine. I don't know that we need to go 10, 11, 12 inches deep in our soils. I really don't think that we do. And so I don't know if I wouldn't want to go less than 8, but if we could be in that 9 to 10 range, I would be happy with that. So I think that we've been doing a good job. I think this is doing a little bit better job. It'll be interesting, especially in this field where we're probably going to have 2 different primary tillage tools out here, to see if there's any kind of a difference in the stand and the yield next year in this corn. But yeah, it's interesting anyway. So that said, in the spring we're pulling a 45-foot field cultivator that 9R pulls just fine, and this tractor would toy with it. You'd almost have to have a bigger field cultivator. And not that that's a bad thing, but we can already get across our ground really fast with the field cultivator that we have, so it's not super necessary. We got our wedge done over there along the side, so we're kind of back where we started, and we'll keep working that way across. We are getting a little more significant raindrops on the window. Still not nearly enough to shut us down, but could be a developing story there. So this tractor is so sweet, dude. I cannot tell you how awesome this is enough. Time to get out and stretch my legs and admire that thing. It's really unfortunate that you can't see how cool it is from inside the cab. I mean, that's the downfall of being in the cab. While we're out here, we'll take a look around. I will say we are doing just a phenomenal job. It's relatively level. We've got, just, it's soft. Everything's broken up. The ripper is such a good tool. It does a great job. This stuff will overwinter. We'll hit it with the field cultivator in the spring. It'll make a perfect seed bed for our corn. We're mixing in all that fertilizer. Like, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Exactly how it's supposed to do it. Let's see, if we look at the bare stuff, can we see any of our fertilizer laying here? Oh yeah, right there. It's a potash granule. There's some. So that's good. Those are, that's the fertilizer pellets that were spread out here, and that's what we want to get mixed into the soil really good so that the roots can find it. There is a soil probe included with this ripper when you buy it, so that you can kind of probe. And the idea is to go out where you haven't done and try and figure out how deep your compaction layer is. I've never had much luck doing this. You just kind of push it in, and the deeper you go, the harder it gets to push it in. It's not like it goes for a while and then stops and gets harder or easier after a while. Like, it's just hard. And it's before or at that first notch. What I like to do with it is then come over here behind our ripper and stick it in the ground. Ooh, that feels really deep. Like, I don't think we're going that deep, but that's how deep it is before we get to compaction layer. About right there. That's significant. So we're breaking it loose. We're doing a really good job. I am happy with the tool. I am very happy with the tractor. Every now and then we're getting a rock caught in a rolling basket. I've got one now that won't turn into one section, so we're gonna get out here on the end and see what we got, clear it out. All right, let's go see. Our ripper points are, I mean, they're okay, but they are getting towards the end of their life here. Yeah, got a rock right there. We've got the scraper bar inside to keep them from packing up with mud, which does work really well. Problem is, you get rocks like this and they get caught in there, so those are getting pretty worn too. We've talked about replacing them or fixing them, but you can see the waves there. They're about shot. Okay, sadly, I think our time in the 9RX is coming to an end here. We're gonna make this round and finish my little land that I've been working off here, but it is a little after noon. I've put the hours on it that, I mean, I'm at the low end of what they told me was kind of their range, but we do got to get it home. We got to unhook the ripper. We got to get it back up to the dealer. I might run through some end rows on some corn stalks just to open up some ends on some stuff a little bit. But we covered a lot of ground here, like more than I kind of thought we would. We're, let's see, 95 acres we've done total, so almost 50 out here. That's good. Basically, the more I use this, the less I have to use our 8RX and put hours on that. So that's kind of my trade-off there. But yeah, I've gotten done what I had hoped to get done with it. I've learned what I needed to learn about running the tractor. And not that I ever had any doubt that it was awesome, but we've confirmed it. We're starting to get a little heavier drizzle here than what we've had all morning. So we'll see if that amounts to anything. I'm sad to end this. What a cool opportunity it was, though. I mean, dang. So I believe there's around 30 to 35 acres left in this field. We'll just come do that with an 8RX. It'll be fine. Maybe tomorrow, maybe some other time. I don't know when. I'm probably not going to do it this afternoon because I have a few other things that I need to get taken care of here. But man, this was awesome. So we're going to head back to the farm. Like I said, we may rip a couple of end rows of some corn stalks, especially those fields right behind the farm, because, well, it was wetter when we combined those fields than anything else, really, because it's gotten so dry here in November. So that would be kind of the places to go and look at it. So, all right, I'm driving a new tractor on the road. Then, yep, bye. All right, so I just pulled back into the farm here. Dad is power washing the sprayer, or at least he was. So while I've got this, and we've got power, and we've got a big ripper, we're gonna rip these end rows. So this is kind of the field. We didn't start here, but we were working in here when it was kind of wet one day. Like the lane was too wet, and we pulled out and went to the backfield and kind of thing. And so the cart got ran on these ends a fair bit. We're gonna just make a couple of rounds on these ends back there behind that equipment, and then in the field in the back along the ends on the east end here. So not a lot, but we're just gonna rip that up real quick. I did get a call from the dealer on the way home. They're gonna send somebody down here this afternoon to come get this and take her home, and I don't blame them. Oh yeah, haha! She pulls hard. So back here in these ends, we have some spots that's usually very wet. When we tiled that field, we ran some across a few string. You can see right here and right there, and so we're just kind of working them down a little bit, and it's pulling real hard. Yeah. I've got it set down to 11.5 inches deep, though. Like, we're pulling it deep, trying to break up all that compaction so that it's the water can infiltrate through the soil a little bit better. It can flow horizontally to the tile a little bit better, and hopefully fix our wet spot between the tile and ripping the compaction out of it. Should make that corner a lot better. So we're not going all the way to the end, but there was a low spot over there that I decided to rip through, and then we're going to finish going back up there to the farm. Well, this is going to be the last of it, I think, unless somewhere Phil shows up and decides he wants to run it. But that's going to be it. I do, however, have an 8RX sitting right over there that's hooked up to a ripper, and it looks like a photo op to me. It has gotten much colder out. All right, we're staging stuff. I put the combine in the barn. Got that tractor parked out there. We're going to go get another tractor. We're going to park it next to it, and we're going to take a picture. And it's going to be a thumbnail. Right? Right. Has to be. It looks so little. Especially the ripper. Chisel. It is little. But it's okay. I still love this tractor too. Oh my goodness. Look at him. Oh, just look at him. That is a beautiful picture right there. Oh my goodness. Once again, thank you to Greenmark Equipment. I cannot thank you guys enough for letting me have the opportunity to run that, even if it is just for a day and a half. I am so incredibly appreciative and thankful for that. It is one heck of a machine, and I wish that we were in a position and of the need that tractor could stay on our farm, but not the case as of right now. Don't get me wrong, I mean, this tractor, I would love for it to stick around here, but if we're going to spend the amount of money that we're talking about for this kind of tractor, we need a new sprayer. Like, that is the priority, much more than that. And we could buy one heck of a nice sprayer for what this thing costs. And so it is not staying. We will be bringing our 510R back, but that doesn't make it less cool. Yeah, that is a cool sight right there. Oh my. We are going to have to get that unhooked here pretty quick. They haven't called me to say, hey, we're on our way. They just said we're going to figure out who I got available to come down and get it. So we got a little bit of time. We'll just let them sit there for a minute. Get everybody talking. That's what we're doing. We're getting everybody in the neighborhood talking. I can't tell you how many farmers' trucks drove by the field this morning where we were at. I'm sure they're all talking. Oh, crap, did them guys buy that tractor? We did not and are not buying that tractor. Okay, well, I got a phone call from the John Deere dealer, salesman again, and he says, would it be okay if that tractor sat there until Monday? Yeah, it's fine by me. Let her sit. So we're not going to worry about getting it unhooked today. We're probably not going to use it anymore, but it's going to sit there for a little bit. So I have some people I need to go talk to, some errands I need to run, so I'm going to go and do that here quick, and we'll come back and I don't know what we'll do. We'll find something to do. But we've already got a pretty good video for the day, I would think. Just look at them. Oh man, they're so cool. All right, I should be doing some tillage. I'm not doing tillage because today is major seed the order deadline that I'm trying to wrap up. Some of these orders that are just kind of hanging out there. I think 3 people I need to talk to yet. It's just phone calls for the most part. I'm going to see one guy that's local here. It's just a priority right now, so it is what it is. It's fine. But it's boring video for you guys. All right, guys. I guess that's it for me tonight. I got a lot of seed ordered today. Like, this was probably my biggest seed sales day of the year, minus my own order. But yeah, we had a good day. So, and we got to run a 9RX for half the day. So I think I told you this earlier, but the dealer called me and they're gonna let that tractor sit here over the weekend. So we'll deal with that on Monday. We'll probably go tomorrow in the 8RX and finish the field that we were in this morning. It's kind of my plan. But we'll see how that goes. Thanks again to Greenmark Equipment. Like, I cannot thank them enough for letting me run that tractor. And yeah, as always, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions and comments, make sure you leave those down below. And we will see you guys probably tomorrow. We're gonna bonus Saturday video, not during harvest. Aren't you guys lucky? So make sure you go get yourself some Woodbury Farms merchandise. It's getting cold. All of a sudden, it is cold. Thanks, everybody. See ya.